All right, Slick. So what are we covering today in terms of years? Ooh, excellent. Let's do it. So this is the second episode of You Can't Take the Rock Out of Me. 40 years of 0% talent and 110% passion and persistence. That is my story. That is my story of how I got to 40 years of still playing music and making heavier music and louder music than ever in 2023. So the year is 1982. And I get at Christmas time the guitar. And I get the guitar for Christmas and it's like, wow, this is cool. Don't know how to play it. I have no clue. Remember, I have also some challenges, learning disabilities and stuff. So remember that. But things are getting a little better on that end. Now, for this episode, I'm focusing on 1983. So 1983, there was two things that were major. First, my musical journey started, which was, the how to play music. And how that started was in January or end of January. I started learning from a guy named Mike Young in Brampton. And he was a really good guitar player, good musician, knew his stuff. So I started learning, going once a week to learning how to play this guitar, this acoustic classical guitar with nylon strings. And what did I want to learn? I wanted to learn how to play Kiss music. I wanted to learn how to play Kiss. I wanted to learn how to play the songs from Creatures of the Night. But I also wanted to learn how to play other stuff like Rush and AC/DC. Because of those albums, as you remember, Jonathan McKittrick introduced me to a lot of albums, along with other people in my school that introduced me to Motorhead, Triumph. So that's how that got started for me in my musical journey. I only took lessons maybe 3 months at the most with Mike Young, 3-4 months, and then I figured, I'm doing okay, but I'm not getting anywhere, and I need to know how to read music because I just couldn't. And remember, at this point, I don't know how to play by ear, and that's why 1983 is a very significant year for me, because along with my musical journey, probably the most significant thing in my musical journey that happened at that time in 1983 was in August. So what happened in August was I was playing Kiss Alive 1 because I got another copy. So remember in the other episode, I traded that Kiss Alive 1 album for Motorhead's No Sleep to Hammersmith. Good trade. It was great, and the music was perfect with Motorhead. Wanted to learn how to play that stuff. But here's the thing, I got another copy of Kiss Alive 1, and I was playing it. It was a Sunday afternoon. I remember this like it was yesterday. So it's August, Sunday afternoon, and what happened was I'm playing do Strutter. Strutter is when I was playing around with the guitar, and I started to realize I was getting the right chord changes. So I started playing with it again, started going back with the needle on vinyl, because we were doing vinyl at that time. Vinyl records were still alive and well in 1983. I was going back and forth and just seeing and realizing I could play these chords, and I can play along with Kiss. Didn't know anything else about what I was doing, but I realized by feel I was getting this. I was getting this idea that I could play by ear. Huge breakthrough. Big moment for me was getting my first electric guitar and amp. For every teenager, now I'm about, I think I'm like 14, 15 at that point. Yeah, 15. So I'm 16, I'm 16 when I get my first electric guitar and amp. And getting that amp and electric guitar was like, discovering fire. It was like, holy crap, this is great, because I could play loud. And that was one of the big other things that I was like going, okay, one of the reasons I like doing this is because you can play really loud and you can play rock and roll or heavy rock, right? So, because that's how I was listening to the music, was listening to it really loud. So, as you recall, I'm just telling you about the story of how I learned in August how to play by ear. I was doing that with an electric guitar and with the acoustic nylon string classical guitar. I was doing that too. But being able to play by ear meant that I needed to know more about what I was doing. So I had to figure out the whole music theory part of it, and I had to learn how to play music. And I went to the library and I got just about every book you could get on how to play music in terms of music theory, chords, scales, anything, and timing, everything. Now, here's the thing, because remember, I am 16 and I have no clue what I'm doing, and this is the truth. This has really happened. I had no clue what I was doing. And of course, not knowing what you're doing, you kind of just bumping along and think, oh, well, I can play by ear and I can play. And I discovered some bands had songs that were like A chords and with B and E and all that in the key of E, key of A. But then I discovered with Kiss, I'm going, well, why is it that they're playing in the key of A flat, B flat? I thought, they're pretty cool. I mean, they're playing. Okay, so it wasn't until maybe later that year or the year next in 1984 that I discovered bands like Kiss, Motorhead, Black Sabbath would be tuning down a half step. I didn't know what that meant, which is why I was trying to learn my music theory and trying to learn what music was all about. If I had YouTube or the internet, I would have known right away what that was. But what it did do, as a happy accident for me, is it allowed me to learn scales, all chords, everything about music. It even got me more motivated to learn everything you could about music theory. Why does it work? Why does it work in the A flat band? And I was playing deuce in the key of A flat. You don't play in the key of A flat, that I discovered later. But it did stretch me musically to figure that out and learn that. So when you're learning by ear, sometimes realize that sometimes the bands were playing and recording a half step down. Yes, I will say that was a duh moment, but in return it really taught me how to learn about music and learn about every scale. So it was a good thing. But God, talk about an idiot trying to learn music. And remember, 0% talent. And 40 years of persistence and patience. Yes, 1983, I was very patient and very persistent because I wasn't really getting anywhere. So that's it.